Get it started here shortly. It says waiting. Do I need to do anything to make it go live, or it'll start to go live here shortly? Okay, then we will go ahead and call this meeting to order. I know it is around 9:04 a.m., so we will get the meeting started. Anyone who's joining us through the YouTube link to be able to watch it online, thank you. Right now, it looks like we have a few. So there are 10 that are watching online through the YouTube link. So if you have questions or comments at the end, if you want to add them into the chat box, I'll take a look at the chat box as we get through that part of the meeting. So we'll get to the second one, approve agenda items. I believe, Alex, you wanted to ask the board to add one action item, which would be under personnel. Is that correct?
Yes, I'd like to add a personnel item to the action items, please.
And that action item would be so that the board's aware of it?
Correct.
That action item specifically is to accept a resignation, correct?
To accept the resignation, yes, Chantel Seal Coda.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda with the change?
I'll make that motion.
We've got Jane Rogers makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Paul Ketchum, second.
Paul Ketchum seconds. Thank you. Any discussion on the revised agenda or the agenda items that are on there? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Consent items. First one is approval of minutes for the April 21st, 2020 ROD board meeting. You had those sent to you as part of the board packet. Were there any questions? Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
We got Rob Moorhead makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
That was Brandon Roeder seconded the motion. Are there any questions or revisions that need to be made to the April 21st minutes? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor to approve the minutes of April 21st, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Review of financial report and approval of claims for payment. Marcia, you want to review the financial report?
Okay, I believe Alex sent out the actual financial report to you in the board packet. And then yesterday I sent out to you the claims voucher along with the payroll vouchers and also the request for reimbursement from the state. And there's nothing new on there that needs to be talked about unless you all have a question about anything.
Does anyone have a question for Marcia on the financial report part? Okay, hearing none, then approval of claims. Do I have a motion to approve the claims?
So moved.
We got Ryan Middleton made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Rob Moorhead. Then Marcia, anything out of the ordinary? I didn't see anything necessarily out of the ordinary on the claims.
No, there was nothing new on there that was outstanding.
Okay, is there anything you need to point out, you or Alex?
I want Marcia to make a note in the notes that she put out to return the signed separation agreement that has been approved by your board.
Will do.
Thank you. Any
One
questions?
other thing, Carl. I am going to be sending out probably through Blue Ink for signatures on information from this meeting and our previous meeting. So I'll get that out probably today or tomorrow so that everybody can get those signed.
Thank you, Marcia. Questions for Marcia or Alex on claims? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Claims are approved. Anything else that we missed under financials, Marcia or Alex? Okay. Going on, action items. First one, approval of recommended vendor for Rod office renovations or remodel. I know Alex, and we've got Chris Tanner's on here from South Dearborn. They had the bids and the bid openings the other day. I believe that was on Friday afternoon around 2 o'clock. I think they had the bid openings. They had 5 responsive bidders to the remodel. Low bidder was Pool Group for $179,900. Second, Performance, $208,000. Third was Maxwell Construction, $229,480. Fourth, Kevin P. Sullivan Construction for $239,000. And fifth was Dunlop Company for $259,600. So we had 5 responsive bidders to this. I guess some discussion that we want to have with the 5 bidders. I just want to kind of be up front and kind of have some candid conversation here from other members looking at this. The low bidder was Pool Group at $179,900. The second was Performance at $208,000. There is a difference of I think $28,000, $29,000 between the two. The only comments with Pool Group, I believe, I don't know, Chris, if you want to share anything. I know they have a meeting, South Dearborn does, later this week. They have had some issues on a previous job with Pool Group, and it potentially could lead to litigation if it's not resolved in their meeting this week. So that is a potential conflict that could happen. I know we are under time constraints to get the job done. We've had a couple jobs by Pool Group, and they were not able to meet their deadlines that we had in them. I don't know if anybody else has any comments, or if Chris, you want to share anything more about the bids. We've used Pool Group, we've used Performance, we've used Maxwell, the top 3. Performance was our general contractor on our gym project. They were okay. We had no issues with them on that. So we've used all 3 of the top 3. I don't know if other superintendents want to make any comments or questions.
I would just be curious to hear everybody else's thoughts on this. Moving forward, I know that the subcontractors on the bids, the one for Performance, the heating and air is basically the company that we use, so they know our heating and air system, comfort systems inside and out. We also are very familiar with the plumbing contractor on this one. I'm not overly concerned about the sign contractor. It's going to be very minimal as far as the signage that they will be adding on our campus, so that one doesn't concern me as much as it is basically getting it done in this time constraint more than anything. So if anybody else has any comments or questions.
I guess the question becomes, does any board members have concerns with using Pool Group as the low responsive bidder? Has anyone else had any concerns with jobs where they didn't meet the timelines or they had conflicts with them within jobs?
My son's given any of these 5 before, so I don't have any.
Okay,
I will say the
what?
difference between the low bid and the second bid, if you didn't catch that, was $28,100. That's the difference we're talking about between the 2 lowest bids.
Rising Sun, Brandon had just shared, in case you didn't hear, he just said he doesn't have any contact or hasn't used any of those 5 vendors.
I can't say that we haven't, certainly either that I recall recently since I've been here. I guess the question, Carl, you said you use Performance timelines of the bid process. And, were they, everything?
The answer to you is yes, they met all the requirements of the bid process.
The only question or comment would have is, because we're looking at time constraints, would be if we go with Pool Group, do we put any kind of liquidated damages that if they can't meet the timelines or deadline? Do we reach out to them and say, we've got a strict deadline that we need to meet, therefore are you willing to basically have liquidated damages put in there if you can't meet the timeline? Because it's an inside project. It's not like weather should impact the timeline of the project. Anybody have comments about possibly putting liquidated damages if we do go with Pool Group?
If they I'm sorry, I didn't know. Aaron, go ahead.
No, I think that's a good idea. Like I said, I'm not opposed to that. Obviously, if we've got to expedite this, I think put something like that in there makes sense.
Carl, I was to say, the only thing you might run into having a HVAC project going here now is kind of a rider on the contract regarding COVID-19 and the pandemic, and if that disrupts supply chain or the ability to get supplies on hand for the project. Right now, we're not seeing that, but that could be something we hear back from the contractor. So, but I like the idea of holding them to the time constraints. We have definitely a need to have this done by fall.
Right, I guess, because that's my concern, because I believe we've heard that Pool Group, when COVID-19 was first released, I believe they did take time off with construction. So they, I believe, took their workers and they took a period of time, whether it was a few weeks, and stopped construction. So that would be a big concern if they were to do that. So I guess, would there be any thoughts of us reaching out Pool Group, having that conversation and saying, okay, are you able to meet the timelines, given it with liquidated damages? If not, are you wanting to then concede and want us to move on with the next bidder? Any thoughts from anyone on that?
I'd be fine with that. And I guess just one quick question. I know we can't get into specifics, but does the nature of the possible litigation present a risk of delay in completion of this project as well, or could that be looked at as two completely separate situations?
Rob, it really could be looked at as two separate situations. It's on a previous job that we had done with our elementaries. It's a flooring issue that we're having up in Manchester. And as Carl said, we are having that meeting either later this week or early next week. And so everybody's going to sit around the table and decide, but I know our attorney's already informed Jeff Poole that if we can't come to some agreement, that we will be going through litigation on this because they are being, to be blunt, they're being stubborn about this whole process. And they're wanting to throw it back on us when it clearly was not our issue as far as the floor installation is concerned. And so there is a possibility of litigation if that meeting doesn't go well. Now, as far as overlap, we're talking two separate projects there, so I don't know if I don't foresee any overlap as far as from a legal standpoint.
Thanks, Chris.
Do I have a motion then in direction to go?
I'll go ahead and make the motion that we go with the low responsible bidder as Pool Group with the caveat that you will have discussion regarding liquidated damages should they not meet the deadline, and make sure they're in agreement on that.
Do you want to also say that if they decide that they do not want to agree to that we would move to the second lowest bidder?
Yes, keep the timeline moving. Yes, I'll include that in the motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I think I had Brandon, did you second? Brandon Roeder?
Yes.
Brandon Roeder seconded the motion. Questions or comments?
Well, I may have missed this because I was working with my daughter on her e-learning as well. Is there a CM over this that will be sort of managing how this project will be, or projects will be completed? I just know that when we, since I've done 2 building renovations, when we had a similar issue, like we were talking about the pool, as we gave them a deadline, a strict deadline, and they.
We lost you, Ryan. You muted yourself halfway through.
Of course I did. I was just saying that when I've done other projects similar to putting a deadline, a strict deadline on this, I've had issues with the outcome of it being lackluster and other concerns. So I was just wondering if there was a CM that was going to oversee this. That way we could ensure that the project was done correctly throughout.
I believe it would be with the architects, with Lancer and BB Group and Chris at South Dearborn. With the combination of the 2 of them, we don't have a specific dedicated CM hired separately, that it would be kind of Chris at South Dearborn as well as Lancer BB Architects overseeing it. But we had talked, Ryan, did you hear that part of the discussion would be talking about adding liquidated damages if they cannot meet the deadline? Okay. So then what we would do is ask Chris, maybe if you want to set up a meeting with Pool Group, if we want to set up like this, a meeting that if you, I, Alex, Lancer BB, the point of contact with them, maybe even the attorney, to be able to kind of have a conversation with them to see if they do want to continue with their bid.
I can do that if the board chooses to go that route.
Okay. Any other comments or questions before we vote? All those in favor of going with Pool Group, having a conversation about, since they're the lowest responsive bidder, but looking to add the contingency of liquidated damages for the deadline. If not, if they want to withdraw their bid or concede, then we would go with the second lowest bidder of Performance Construction of 208. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, same sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. So then, Chris, if you want to try and set up a meeting, then let me know, okay?
Okay, I will.
Thank you. I know we have a second action item that Alex asked for it to be added on, and that was to accept the resignation of Chantel Seal. Is that correct, Alex?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Hearing the request to accept the resignation of Chantel Seal, do I have a motion?
So moved.
That was Jane, and then also Eric Lowe seconded that, Marcia. That way you have that. Questions on the resignation? I believe Alex also included. Alex, you want to kind of share your email background, how that balances out everything?
Sure. So this is the occupational therapy assistant position, and we have a need for not quite 2 people for next year. And when Chantel was a full-time person, and that would have been great. She does a great job, but she was not interested in staying as a full-time person. And so with her resignation, and then with the other full-time quota position that we had being a temporary 1-year position, and that one ending this year. So now we're in a spot where we've got the right number of quotas going into next year, and we won't have to do any layoffs in that department. We've got in a need position to replace Chantel. Her position won't be replaced.
Okay, excellent. Thanks, Alex. Hearing the recommendation to accept the resignation of Chantel Seal, CODA for Rod, do I have a motion to accept that? Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's right. We had Jane and Eric. Thank you. Are there any comments for or questions for Alex on this? Hearing none, all those in favor to accept the resignation say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Informational item, preschool. I know Marcia sent out an email with all of our preschool list on there. Marcia, do you have any comments about those?
I don't. What Yolanda did is she just gave you the list as they would be for starting school in the fall.
Are there any questions for Marcia or Alex on the preschool list?
One thing I would add is as we get ready to present our budget for next year in the next board meetings, one of the things we look at carefully is this preschool numbers, what you handed out, because that's what we anticipate the classroom is needed for next year. So this is the list that will base those staffing needs off of. We're not anticipating any changes teacher-wise going into next year, but we will look at it carefully for making sure we have the right number of assistants in those programs.
Okay. Questions for Alex or Marcia on those or comments? Okay. Hearing none, I think that was all we had for informational items. We'll kind of go around just to see if any superintendents have any general comments overall. Do you have anything, Paul?
No, I do not, Carl. Thank you.
Andrew?
No comments.
Jane?
No, thank you.
Eric?
No.
Ryan?
No, I don't have anything at this time.
Rob?
No other than to thank Eric and Chris for the work on this with the construction project. I know that's extra on their plates, and appreciate them getting all the information so we can move forward.
Echo that. Brandon?
At least wave at us, Brandon.
Okay, we'll see if he unmutes and joins us. I think that was everybody. Did I miss anyone? I think that was Alex. Do you have any? Alex?
Did you say Brian? Brian, did you have anything? No. Shake his head. So no, I too wanted to say thank you, like what Rob had said to Chris and to Eric for helping us with the building project. It's certainly not in my wheelhouse, but I appreciate their work, and I also appreciate for recognizing the need to move the project along and how important it is for us to be ready to go come fall. So I appreciate all of the work from Chris and Eric.
And I also want to echo that. And I know we've been talking with Chris. Alex and I had a meeting. We're also, for the other board members, we're still kind of looking at options for phone and internet. So we're looking at what are our best options with that. So I know Chris is kind of helping with that. So thank you, Chris, for looking at that with us to see if there's ways that we can consolidate or share things or share expenses on that. So thank you. I'll look and see if there's any general public comments. It looks like there are 11 that are watching on the YouTube channel. I do not see any comments. If anyone is out there and you would like to make a comment or have a question, please, if you would enter that in the chat box, that way we can see it. Don't see any comments that are popping up. Therefore, at this time then, we will adjourn the meeting at 9:28 this morning. So we'll adjourn the meeting. Are there any, now that we've adjourned the meeting, are there any just comments that superintendents, are there questions in general for each other that you wanted to ask? Was there anything? Okay. Hearing none, I appreciate everyone. As Paul says, we're not sure if it's Monday or Friday or Sunday in between that they all kind of feel like they're running together. They're the same. So I appreciate everyone joining us this morning. Be safe out there, and we'll continue. I know at 10 o'clock here shortly, in a half hour, Dr. McCormick will be having her address to the state as well for superintendent. So if you tune into that, we'll see if we have any additional guidance for the summer, for July, or for the fall time. So everybody be safe. Have a good rest of your week. Thank you.
See y'all. Thanks, Carl.
Bye.
Good.